Hello and welcome back to the studio. Today I'm tackling a version of this painting. It's Through the Window by Bob Ross, but I want to do a simplified version of it. I think this is a lovely painting, but it can put you off if you're a beginner. You can feel quite daunted by it. I know I was when I first started to paint the Bob Ross style. I looked at all his books and thought, gosh, one day I might just be good enough to tackle some of them. So let's make this a Bob Ross painting for beginners tutorial. I've kept it nice and short, about 10 minutes long, so it's in nice easy lumps and digestible bits that you can actually sort of sit and watch and relax and study. And don't forget, if you enjoy my videos and you're getting some value from them, you can give them a little thumbs up. That really helps my channel grow. I can't believe it, I've almost got 2,000 subscribers. How did that happen? I don't know, but it's thanks to all of you. So, you know the drill. Sit back, relax, cup of tea, notepad at the ready, and enjoy a beginner's version of this painting. Happy painting, people. So here's my canvas, 12 by 16, with some very dodgy looking masking tape. This is low tack and, well, it may not survive, but we'll do our best. First thing to apply to our canvas is some Bob Ross liquid white oil paint. I want a thin, even coat. I'm going to use an old Bob Ross 1-inch brush to apply it. I'll also be using a couple of fan brushes and, of course, a Bob Ross palette knife. I keep my liquid white in a small airtight container. I want just a small amount for this small canvas. And you want to blend it really well onto the surface. Make sure you don't push out towards the masking tape. You'll force the liquid white underneath and the paint will bleed out of the edges. I finish off with some long flat strokes and test my canvas using my fingertips. You can see that the two fingers here were from the right hand side of my canvas. These two were from the left hand side and they're, well, not quite enough liquid white. So make sure you add some to the whole canvas and that it is evenly coated. I want to use this brush again, but I want to dry clean it first. I don't want any more liquid white getting to my painting. I use a piece of kitchen towel and just fold it over and give it a good squeeze and a good dry clean. Here's my palette. I've got some titanium white, some phthalo blue, Prussian blue and a little black. A little bit of blue in that came from my palette knife when I was spreading the paint out. I'm going to use that same brush to go into some Prussian blue, just a small amount tapped well into the bristles. And I want to start up in the top corners with my painting. If it's too blue, I would prefer it to be darker at the top. Notice that I use my brush and just lay on some little X's. I leave little patches of white here and there. It's a beginner's painting. So the very first thing I actually painted was the clouds. That was the liquid white. I divide my canvas into thirds. This lower third is where I'm going to have some trees. I want to just tint this with some Prussian blue. Don't leave it white. You'll see why a little later on. Now, using soft brush strokes, gently blend the sky. Work softly across the painting to make sure you blend out any little brush marks. Try not to lose all those clouds. Now, let's mix up some colours. A little bit of that grubby titanium white and a little bit of Prussian blue on my palette knife. I want to make sure this colour is going to show up against my pale blue sky, and that colour was just too pale. I add more Prussian blue until I get a colour which is going to show up. It's important to test your colours. Don't just go at it and hope for the best. That's a real beginner's mistake that I used to do, so learn from my errors. I've loaded my fan brush to a chiselled edge with that blue colour. Now, at about this level, I want to put some distant trees a little higher than the foreground trees. I make a little mark. It's very useful to know where the trees start and stop. Now, tip your brush at an angle and just touch the canvas to leave a few little markers. Again, it's great for a beginner to know how big the tree should be. Now, Notice how I hold my brush and I'm going to just strike downwards with the brush edge. I leave some nice pointed little tops for some distant fir trees. Keep them fairly straight and upright. As you see, my brush runs out of paint fairly quickly, and I want to add some of those distant trees on the left hand side so they look like they're going back into the distance as I run out of paint on my brush. It's an easy technique and very effective. Now, I dry cleaned my 1-inch brush again. I just want to tap out the base. I want to create a misty effect down here to make them look more distant again. The top of the trees I give a little upward flick to raise some little pointy bits on the ends. It's a small touch, but it adds great depth and distance to your painting. I'm going to use my second fan brush for the snow. I go into some titanium white paint and load the brush very well to a chiseled edge. Now decide how much of this you want to trim away. I reach in and with firm pressure I pull the snow across the canvas. Well, it's not really snow, of course, it's white paint. But look at that effect. It looks just like a snowbank. You can go back and reload your brush and blend this out a little bit more. Make sure you bring it down far enough to cover up a snowbank in the front. Now, let's mix up a new colour. Prussian blue and black. Just a little bit of black here. I want a very dark, sort of navy blue colour. I'm going to carry on using that brush. I've given it a little dry clean and I reload it again to a chiseled edge. There we are. This time I want to paint some bigger fir trees. From that little mark we made earlier on, up into the sky. Touch and leave a little centre line. Once again, it's good to do a little bit of planning so you know how much room to leave for various parts of the painting. Now, tip your brush onto a corner. Hold the brush downward slightly and we are just touching with the brush. I'm not actually brushing. I'm just leaving a little imprint of the bristles. Touch and tap and zigzag backwards and forwards across the centre line of the tree. You leave little gaps here and there, and that's fine. We'll come back to it. Each of these little shapes looks like a little tiny umbrella. And as I go down the tree, the umbrellas get a little larger. Don't worry if you have to go back over the tree a second time to fill it out. I've left lots of gaps here, and you might want them left a bit more sparse. It's up to you. Towards the base of my fir tree, I want to have a lovely dark foliage. Let the brush swing round so it's more sort of straight at the canvas and press firmly to create lots of lovely texture. Let's give our tree a little friend. It's the same process, zigzag backwards and forwards across the centre, and then once you're happy with the overall size, you can go back and darken it if you need to. I'll do a few little upward pushes to create some vegetation, maybe some frozen foliage at the base of the tree. It's exactly the same stroke but upwards rather than downwards. Now back to our snow brush. Just grab that very last edge of that paint and just pull it out to the side. I want to create a little shadow under my two little fir trees. Make sure you pull it at an angle and think about how the land would lie. If you want to go back and add a little bit more, you can create some lovely bright edges here and there. Now you see why I put some blue under the tree to start with, because white on white wouldn't look terribly interesting. My simplified version of Through the Window by Bob Ross is turning into a real stunner, and quite simple for a beginner to do. I've gone back into some titanium white paint and I'm going to just tint it a little bit. I don't want this to be pure white again. I saved that just for the odd fleck of snow here and there. But notice how I push my brush into that paint to get a little ridge on the very edge. Now, hold your brush at an angle and just touch the top edge of a few of those little umbrella shapes we made earlier. This is snow sitting on the tops of the branches. Don't lose all the dark. And don't worry if your brush is a little bit raggedy. It gives some lovely effects. And again, if you have problems getting it to stick, add a tiny drop of liquid white to your paint to make it a little bit softer. As we come down, let the paint run out a little bit, and then down in here, do some little upward pushes. Save the dark. It's your best friend in your painting. For some finishing details, I'm going to use my palette knife. Just push it into the paint and make it slide along the canvas. It'll leave a little hair-like dark line. In the darker areas, in the shadows, which you saved of course, you can scratch in some sticks and twigs. Somewhere for the birds to sit. Don't forget, if you haven't got nice pointy tops to your fir trees, just use your palette knife. I was in such a hurry to get my painting revealed for you that I pulled off the masking tape, but I had forgotten something. So I reapplied my tape, and I'm going to put a little bit of sparkle on my painting. And yes, I know Bob didn't do this on his ones, but I thought, well, it's Christmas time and I'm sure he would approve. My Bob Ross painting for beginners with a bit of sparkle. So there you have it. Take something complicated and make it simple. It's not as hard as it looks. Now don't move because there's some more videos coming along which you can simplify as well. In the meantime, happy painting people.